Hello, Colonial hockey fans. Tim Benz and Mike Prisuta, your broadcast team for RMU games on Flow Hockey and Sportsnet Pittsburgh with you. Pleased to be joined, as always, by the head coach of the RMU hockey program, Derek Schooley. The Colonials wrapped up their regular season over the weekend playing against Air Force, and now they go to play Air Force in the playoffs. 7 o'clock start time on Saturday, March the 1st, coming up for the one-game knockout to advance to round two. Derek, how you feeling going up against the Falcons after seeing them here in Pittsburgh last weekend? What can you take from that weekend series and apply to the playoff game?
Well, it just is a addition to the previous weekend, except the stakes are going to be higher. I think that, we probably gave ourselves the best opportunity we could on Saturday night, to where we had a lead with 5 minutes to go. They tie it. We had some chances in overtime. They had some chances. It goes to a shootout. So, and the first night, I think we were tied 2-2 with under 15 to go in the third. So this is a close series, and whoever makes the least mistakes is obviously, just like in any game, is going to advance out of the first round.
Derek, one of our talking points last weekend was the opportunity for RMU to get quote-unquote playoff ready, to get your game in shape and be ready to play your best hockey in the postseason. It occurred to me during Saturday night's broadcast, and I'm not sure I made as strong a point about this as I should have, but there was probably no better way to get prepared, not just because you know this team that you're about to play, but the physicality of it, the grinding style, Air Force being a good defensive team, Air Force being a skate transition team. You guys were exposed in your most recent two games to pretty much everything you're going to have to deal with to survive and advance, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for our assistants. They don't have to do a whole new scouting report. We just have to update the one that we have from this past weekend, and it goes both ways. I mean, I think that we were much better on Saturday than we were Friday, but Friday we still were in the hockey game. And we have to make sure that we take that. And I walked into the locker room after the game was over, and I asked the guys if could we beat that team we just played. And they all, obviously we had a lead late, and they all gave us a head shake and a yes. And I said, well, we're going to have a chance to prove it again next week. So 1 week later, we'll see who continues to play hockey.
Derek, this might be building off of Mike's question some, but two questions in terms of adjustments. What would you like to adjust to the most from what you saw from them in the first two games that you played in this year, over the last weekend? And conversely, what do you expect the Falcons to do differently against you guys? Like, what did you do well that you think they'll try to adjust to?
I mean, do you want me to tell you all the secrets for the world to see?
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you look at their goals, they scored their goals a certain way. We've got to do a better job of net front, and they want to play long, and we've got to make sure that we stop their transition. But adjustments that we're going to make, I'm usually really good with sharing with you guys, but I'm not going to share it to the world right now. Call me in 10 minutes, and I'll give you the what our thoughts are of what we can do to be better. But I'm not going to share it with everybody right now, especially those in Colorado Springs that may be tuning in. Hello.
How's it going, Frank? Derek, in generalities, net front defense, does that have to be accomplished before the guy gets there or after the guy gets there?
A little bit of both. I think you have to do a good job of boxing out. You also have to do a good job of getting sticks in front of the net. And we also got to make sure the pucks don't get through the net. And, all of that right there, that was, it probably happened on two or three of the goals. So we've got to do a better job in front of our net. And we've got to do a better job in front of their net. I mean, I think whoever gets to the net front and owns the paint, as they say, I think will have success this weekend.
How do you think Croy did over the weekend?
I mean, I think our goaltending is settled into it is what it is. I think we've got to he makes some unbelievable saves. We got to limit those what we perceive as 50-50 goals, ones he should have, and and mix in the big ones as well. That's the goalie's job, is to make the standard routine saves, make all the saves he can make, and then mix some big ones in with it.
Derek, you guys went through this last year, went up to Bentley and won. What do you think happened to help facilitate that, and how easy is that to conjure up again?
Well, I mean, I think we got the ability to draw from that because we've got so many different players back. The guys who scored the big goals in that game, Cam Garvey, the overtime winner, guys that played massive roles in that, are still here. So I think that those are things that we just have to continue to draw from and make sure that we're dialed in Saturday night, because if you don't, there is no tomorrow. And I use this saying, as playoffs go, every play matters. And we had a couple of chances to get a puck out before they tied the game. And if every play matters, because that ended up in our net, we've got to make sure we do the things that we're capable of to give us the best chance. And that's gaining zones, putting pucks behind their D, and just things that everybody talks about when they're coaching. It sounds cliche, but it's true.
Derek, their power play hasn't been great this year, but they got a couple against you. How much of that was related to the net front issues you were talking about, and how can you be better against their man up?
Yeah, that was it. How we could be better to stay out of the box. Going into about 3 weeks ago, we were the least penalized team in Atlantic hockey, and over the last Bentley series, Niagara series, and this series, we've climbed the ladder per se, and that's not what we want to do. So we need to make sure we stay out of the penalty box. That's the best way to combat their power play. And in playoffs, you're probably only going to get about 3. You're going to get so we have to make sure that you stayed at 2 or 3. And we were really good at discipline until a couple weeks ago, and then now we've been taking some what I call dead ball fouls, to where the play's over and we take a penalty after the whistle, or we've taken some 5-minute majors that we can't take.
Derek, you've had a pretty good track record in postseasons at RMU. Is there anything you or your staff changes going into these scenarios? Is it just more attention to detail, like the every play matters thing that you mentioned? What traditionally has worked for RMU at this time of a season?
I think it's just that. It's mentality. It's every play matters. It's knowing that you're not going to play the next day. And we've been good. We've had some. I mean, we went to 6-7 straight Atlantic Hockey Final Fours, which had a lot of wins involved in that. And I think we did a pretty good job. I mean, Frank and I joked we used to be playing for championships when we had playoff games. Now we're playing in the first round. And we need to get back to that, playing it for championships, not playing on the road in the first round. But we're 1-2 in the playoffs all time against them. Hopefully we can even it up.
Derek, one point you made, I'm trying to remember if you brought this up before the Friday game or if it was coming off the Friday game specifically for Saturday, but you wanted to be better making passes from low to high, tape to tape, to keep the puck moving. How do you think you guys did that as the weekend progressed?
We were very connected on Saturday. I meant as a breakout, we've got to do a better job of passing, receiving, and I thought we were really connected on Saturday. I thought we came up the ice together, and we were connected and making passes. We caught, received passes well, and we worked together. And I think that was the best form of us right now. You could go back to where we played Miami, go back to RIT. The best form of us right now is where we were on Saturday night and where we were against Niagara. And we need to make sure that we're there. And it's no secret that we got points against teams above us in the standings playing that way. So we head into playoffs playing the right way. 3 of the last 4 games, at least, very connected, very on pace, very physical. And we just need to make sure that we're prepared to do it in a 1-game knockout.
The second
what
half
kind
of
of environment do you anticipate at Air Force? And is that something the road team can use to its advantage?
Well, yeah, last year at Bentley it was crazy and you couldn't hear yourselves. I think it's going to be the same. Air Force always draws really well. They'll have the cadets there and they'll be loud, and they do a good job there. So I expect it to be a really outstanding atmosphere for our guys to go into.
The second half of what I was going to ask Derek there about, getting the pass to the right spot. I hear this from basketball coaches all the time. It might be more of a basketball thing to say, but they talk about their players being shot ready. Like, be ready to shoot when the ball comes to you, especially on the perimeter. How are your guys like that? Like having the stick in the shooting position, having the stick on the ice when the pass comes in the break, being ready to fire when the pass comes to the power play. How do you find your guys have been so far in that regard?
Yeah, I think we've been fine. I think it's more of our passing and receiving. It's pucks, passing to where the player's going, not to where the player's been, and making sure when the puck hits your stick, it doesn't explode off of it, and you can't catch the pass. I think those are the most important things. Is being connected, coming up the ice together, and if pucks are bouncing or pucks are flying, it's not conducive to getting good offense or line rush or anything like that.
Derek, will Saturday night be a great moment? Will it be born of a great opportunity? And do you come up with something catchy before the game, or do you just kind of handle pregame the way you normally handle it?
Well, I think obviously they know where we're at. I mean, you could come in with all the best pregame speeches in the world, but they know where we're at. They know that if we want to play again the following weekend, we've got to do the job this weekend, and they know that it's the one game do or die, and we were there last year. So I think it's one of those things where you have to make sure that you're prepared. You have to make sure that you do everything leading up to going out to Colorado Springs on Friday, and making sure that we're ready to go. And yeah, I mean, I think that we're all comfortable in our own skin of where we're going and what we have to do to be successful. So we know what our job is and how to go about doing it.
Is your voice in a position where you could yell and scream and flip over the Gatorade table like after the first intermission against Sweden anyway?
I don't know if my voice is better, isn't it?
Your voice actually sounds better, but you said now you're not feeling as good.
No, I feel fine. It's just it's nasally. I feel like I'm more congested than I was before. No, I haven't felt that at all. It's just I went from no voice to now having a nasally sick voice, and I don't feel sick.
I was worried about you this weekend. I thought there was a couple times where Katie might have to do a hard-hitting interview with Ryan DeRocher or something like that coming off the bench.
Yeah, I think that was going to go to Matt Nicholson. I think Ryan would have declined that one.
Are you going to go suit, quarter zip, or take a page out of Frank's book and wear the cabbie hat behind the bench?
I'll be probably in a suit. It's playoffs.
I
got a little bit out of. I went in some sweaters and pea coat, and but senior night went back to the suit. I'll be in a suit.
Anything health-wise, Derek, from your team aside from your own throat? I'm talking about your team. Like, how's Luke Van Wy? How did Tanner Klimke respond to a full weekend of activity?
Yeah, right now we're going as everybody's available. We'll see how it progresses as the week goes on. It today's Wednesday, and we still have a couple days till we depart. So we depart on Friday morning. So we've got to have a travel roster in by I think 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we'll have to see how things progress throughout the day, but we should have as close to possible roster as possible.
Derek, thanks a bunch. Best of luck out there. Hopefully we're doing this again next week and you're still playing.
Oh, we got to do one no matter what. But yeah,
hopefully we're doing
playing.
A preview of the second
round.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. We're going out there to win hockey games. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever said, hey, we're going to go out there just to give it the old college try. But we feel that we've put ourselves in a good spot. We know the opponent, and we feel we played the opponent very well. So now it's going out and getting the job done.
If you are looking for a pregame speech, a little inspiration, I'd go with, let's really try to win this one.
The old man traveled on the bus that long to say that.
He came all the way to Colorado to say that.
Yeah.
All right, Derek, good luck.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Derek Schooley, head coach of the RMU Colonials. We will be back next week one way or another, and hopefully we're previewing round 2 for Robert Morris as they move on after
Call
playing
the shot
Air Force
like Babe Ruth
this weekend.
I'm pointing to Colorado.